This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Not everyone is careful with your personal information, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the U.S. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. If your identity is stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year by visiting lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This podcast is supported by Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. RVs are for sharing adventures with family, friends, and even your pets. So if you bring your cats and dogs along for the ride, you'll want Progressive RV insurance. They protect your cats and dogs like family by offering up to $1,000 in optional coverage for vet bills in case of an RV accident, making it a great companion for the responsible pet owner who loves to travel. See Progressive's other benefits and more when you quote RV insurance at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pet injury is an additional coverage and subject to policy terms.
Hello, everyone. It's time for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 429, season 18. Today's date is May 3rd, 2025, and welcome to the show. On today's program, I'm going to do a tribute episode, a partial episode for the tribute. It's actress and comedian Ruth Buzzi, and she just passed away a couple of days ago. Oh, that was official. I think she passed away May 1st. Or May 2nd. I'm not sure. When I come back, I'll verify. And I will talk about my memories of watching her on television throughout the years in Chicago. Yeah, so she had a great career. Very funny lady, very sweetheart. She was a sweetheart. Excuse me. So this will be quite interesting. Also, I'll read off a menu from the Ground Round restaurant, and they had several locations in the Chicagoland area. So I'll talk a little bit about the Ground Round, its history, and I'll read a menu off, and then it'll take you back to a simpler place. Before I get started, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Clorox 2. This is from the 1970s, and it features Ruth Buzzi. And this commercial is from 1972. So sit back and relax and let's listen to her. You know her voice distinctively. It's her. And it's a very funny commercial. I found it on YouTube. So I'll be right back with the rest of the show, folks. Thank you.
Coffee on a green blouse, what do you do? Embarrassing mess on my permanent press. What do? Well, when you don't use regular Clorox, use Clorox 2. Stains gone, colors sing. With Clorox 2 all fabric bleach, cleans to beat the band.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Clorox 2 bleach. They still make this? I believe they do. My mom uses other products. But, laundry detergents have changed. Now you got pods and powders and, washing machines have changed so much. I still have the old-fashioned one. It goes, all of that. That works like a charm. So Clorox Bleach, that's for whites, but Clorox 2 is for colors. Okay. So that's Ruth Buzzi. She plays several characters in that commercial. If you want to watch the commercial, go on YouTube, do a search, and she is right there. And there's like 2 of them. So go ahead. I think she did one for Snowy Bleach, I think. Probably. Maybe I should have looked that up, but I didn't have a chance to. Okay. So, yeah, Clorox 2 is still around in the... in the market. You can buy it Target or Amazon, whatever you want. Walmart, they're there. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about my tribute to Ruth Buzzi, my memories of watching her on TV in Chicago. Also, I'll read off a menu of the Ground Round restaurant. Let's see before I get started, let me see what's going on this week. Not much. I had my first chemo. Was it Monday? I think. Yeah, I had it first Monday. This is the first chemo of the second one, and that went very well. My next one is May 19th. We'll see if it works. I'm not in pain anymore, so maybe it's working, but I'm very very, very tired, and I have to lie down most of the time. After I'm doing the podcast, I'm going out to breakfast with a friend of mine, I've known since grade school, and we'll meet up, have some lunch, and then come back home. I'll put the podcast together and then publish it, and then just lie down for the rest of the day. Let's see what else. So hopefully this will work. There's one thing I did not mention on my social media accounts. I have to take 5 injections. I have to self-inject because with this new chemo drug, it's cabazitaxel. I can't pronounce it. It's Jetvana. That's what it is. That's another name for it. That sort of depletes the white blood cells, the count. So I have to inject myself for 5 days. I took the last one today, thank God. Oh, I hate that. But I went there the next day on Tuesday, and the nurse demonstrated it for me, and it was easy. So, but the problem is, I have to do this every time I do chemo. So May 19th, I got to do it all over again. I got to order some the week before to have the injection shipped to me, and then I have to use them for 5 days after that. And it depends if the white blood cells fallen. If they didn't fall, then I don't need it anymore. But if they have, then yeah, I got to do it because that's what it does. It prevents infection. So I hope so. I hope this works. I'm praying. So I don't know. I'm supposed to go for 10 sessions. So maybe I'll be done by the fall. Maybe earlier. Maybe. I don't know. It depends. I'm praying. I'm really praying. All right. Right now, I'm going to talk about Ruth Buzzi. When I found out the news, what was it, yesterday, that she passed away, that was very sad, because she was my favorite. And, and the date she died on May 1st. So it must be overnight. My memories of her go way back when I was a little boy. I was about maybe 5 years old. I lived in the South Shore neighborhood. We didn't have a color set. So she started on Rowan Martin's Laugh-In, and that started in January 22nd, 1968. And she started on the show since the beginning of that. And the pilot that aired in September 1967. I forgot the date, September 9th, I think. Anyway, so my earliest memories, I was a little kid, and it was Monday night. That's when the show aired at 7 o'clock on Channel 5 at WMAQ. And I watched the show, and I remember how, wow, it looks so crazy. People running around telling jokes and all kinds of silly things like that. And over the years, I did watch Laugh-In. My mom let me watch. I didn't understand it. She watched it too. She liked it. And she loved Ruth Buzzi. So then we didn't have a color set until 1974. So I saw the show black and white, and I wanted to see, but I've seen magazines or TV guides how the set look, the mod and psychedelic, with the colors and all that. And the first time I saw Ruth Buzzi was, of course, she was playing Gladys Omfrey, that ugly woman with the atrocious hairnet with the big purse. And she's always sitting at a park bench, and then there was an old man coming towards her, and that was Tyrone F. Hornine, played by Artie Johnson, which was one of the funniest men I ever seen. And he would come over and try to harass her or try to pick her up, and then he would say some things. to her, and she hit him with a purse, sometimes in the stomach or the chest or the head. And then at the end, he would just fall down with his, supported by his cane, just fall on the floor. It is one of the funniest bits. I loved it. And she portrayed that character all throughout her career, with the Dean Martin roast. I used to watch that every, Friday night on Channel 5. And she would hit Dean Martin or the man of the hour or the woman of the hour and hit that too. And then there are clips on YouTube if you want to watch. They're hilarious. They really are. Of course, Ruth Buzzi started in a TV series before Laugh-In. She was like a semi-regular on That Girl with Marlo Thomas. Her name was Pete, like my name. So so I have this show on DVD, and I watched her. She was not crazy comedian, but funny, but but she was great in that. She did a lot of shows. I remember her on the Monkees. She played an old lady. Oh, she was funny in that. She did a lot of television. And on Rowan Martin's Laugh-In, she was there from the beginning to the end. She was the only regulars were there was her, Gary Owens, the announcer, and Dan and Dick, Rowan and Martin. The others left, and they brought new people. After 2 years of the show, it was number one. It was very popular. But when the third year came, a lot of people left, like Joanne Worley, Judy Carn, and Henry Gibson, and Goldie Hawn. So then the ratings plummet, and it wasn't the same anymore. I was disappointed because I wanted all of them to stay like Saturday Night Live, the Ready for Nighttime Players. I can't pronounce that. Like Gilda Radner, Laurie Newman, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, those guys. They were there for like 5 years almost. And I wish Laugh-In was like that. It would have been perfect. But they got new people. But luckily they got Lily Tomlin. So she's wonderful. She's hilarious. And, they show clips of Laugh-In, and sometimes with Ruth Buzzi. They had a 1977 special episodes with new cast. Robin Williams was in it, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't rerun after the show ended in 1973, and reruns came. This is kind of weird. Like in 1984, it started syndicating, like 83, 84. And then they aired it on Channel 9, WGN, at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I wanted to see show, but it was too late, And so I stayed up and watched it, And, I had trouble sleeping. I was going to DeVry at the time, so I was in college and studying. So I stayed up late and watched it. And I remember the first episode. And then they showed Ruth Buzzi as Gladys and all that. And that ran about a year. And then Nick at Night got the reruns like in the late 80s. And then but it was all syndicated. It was all butchered up. It wasn't the full length episodes. Then when I got on Facebook, I started a Facebook group of the official Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In show. I'm the admin. I've been there for many years. And what I did is post pictures of the cast, of course, Ruth Buzzi, Joanne Worley, Artie Johnson, and talk about my memories of the show. And then I added people, and it was amazing because there's a lot of baby boomers on Facebook. They saw it. And so I started that. And then I campaigned to get Laugh-In on DVD. And so it took a long time. And then one day I found out that Time Life purchased the rights, and they're going to put the show on DVD, the full-length episodes, all of them. They got the rights to that. I think the problem was the last season, Dan Rowan and Dick Martin didn't own it. And the sixth season was bad, according to them. But I watched it. It wasn't bad at all. It was okay. So Time Life, I remember on their Facebook page, they said, would you like to, they ran a contest if you mentioned, why is Laughing your favorite show? And then I explained, this is my second favorite show of all time. First was I Love Lucy. And I told her, I am my name is Pete Costanis. I'm the admin. I run this group. And they said, congratulations, you won the free DVD set. I got all 6 seasons for free. It was very generous of them. And that was cool. And I got them. As soon as I got it at home, they shipped it. I started watching all of them. All the episodes from the pilot all the way to the end at season 6. Saw that they had the extras there, and I watched it a second time. I should start watching them again. It's so funny, and so I wasn't disappointed because there's some things, each season was different, but that's what I remember, and it was in color. Everyone was there, so I want to learn more. I want to see more of these people, but that didn't happen. As for Ruth Buzzi, she started a TV series called The Lost Saucer with Jim Nabors. I remember that on Saturday morning. And she was on Sesame Street. I remember she did a Muppet episode. That was one of the most popular shows. She was born July 24th, 1936 in Westerly, Rhode Island. And her parents were... her family owned Buzzi Memorials that it's like, I believe they made tombstones like that. And let's see. So, I thought she was Italian, but according to, to her website, her father was from Switzerland. So I think he was Italian because, Switzerland is part Italian like that. And then, so she left and then came to California, and then she got discovered. And so that was, she's been famous ever since, like that. So she started a lot of TV shows like that, and she did voices, cartoons and all of that. And so as for the Facebook group, Ruth Buzzi reached out to me and she said, I love this group. I will post pictures. And I said, oh, thank you. Thank you. And she told me, you do a marvelous job. I love it. Thank you for bringing that. And that's cool. That's cool. And her husband's in the group. I have my sincere condolences to him. Very nice man. And he said that, the past few days she was not doing well. She had Alzheimer's and she wasn't posting anymore. So it was, I had a funny feeling that was the end. That was so sad. So over the years, she posts jokes and commented. Oh, it's so she was on Twitter for a while. So that was cool. And so it was great. It was wonderful. I'm glad she liked the group. Other laughing people, I know Lily Tomlin's aware of the group, and I know Goldie Hawn is. I don't know about Joanne Worley. I don't think she's on social media because those are the few that are still alive. The rest have died, and so I think they're aware of the group. So I will continue to run the group, and a lot of people ever since her passing, a lot of people have posted and they've talked about their memories. I told them, please share your memories of Ruth that you watched on the show and all that. And I got contacted by her niece and she said, please let me know when the podcast is ready. And I said, of course I will. I will let her know. That is kind of nice. Her family members reaching out to me. So that's sweet. Yeah. She was a very funny lady. I loved her. I really did. I'll miss her. Now she's up in heaven, bashing Tyrone in the pearly gates with the handbag. One last funny thing, every time my mom sees something on TV and she sees some old lady or a lady hitting someone with a brush, and he goes, "Oh, there goes there goes that Buzzy thing."
Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV that isn't just built for one thing. It's precision crafted for everything. To escape the grind with available all-wheel drive. To go with your flow with available Google built-in.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Okay, turning up the volume. And crafted to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Take your vibes and go.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
That's wonderful. One of the most memorable characters in television history. Okay, right now I'm going to play a commercial for Ground Round. I'm going to read off a menu from that restaurant, and this is from 1981. So, after the commercial, when I come back, I'm going to read off a menu from the Ground Round restaurants that were located in the Chicagoland area. I'll talk about its locations and its history. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the show, folks. Thank you.
Looking for a great place to eat and drink? How's the Ground Round sound? And listen to this. For a limited time, a tender USDA choice top sirloin steak with steak fries, onion rings, and Texas toast is just $3.99. Imagine a steak dinner for just $3.99 with great specials like these. The Ground Round. Sounds good to anyone.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Ground Round. Right now, I'm going to talk about the restaurant and read off a menu from this wonderful place. Okay, so the Ground Round was founded in 1969 in Massachusetts by Howard Johnson's. And let's see, so it was just a chain of pubs with a simple menu. So it was well known for their children's parties, showing silent movies, cartoons on a big screen. They had a mascot named Bingo the Clown. I don't know if I remember Bingo the Clown in Chicago, and for passing out peanuts, where you would sit at your tables. I mean, everyone would sit at their tables and shell the peanuts and just drop the shellings all on the floor. So that was good. So that lasted until the 70s and 80s. The one that was near my house, my old neighborhood, was at 87th and east of Cicero in Hometown. I think it was Hometown. Could have been Chicago. I think it's Hometown. I have the addresses, so I will tell you that in a moment. And I never went there. Never was invited to a party. I never thought of asking my parents to have my birthday party there. We always had it at our homes, at our house, that is. And I wish I went there to experience it, So, and then that lasted through the 80s and 90s. I don't know when I left the Chicagoland area, maybe about the late 80s or the 90s, and then it just fell out of popularity. And then they closed the rest of them around 2004. And as far as I know, there's still about 4 left in the United States. And they announced they're going to open one in this past January in 2025 in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. I don't know if it opened. Maybe it has. I think so. And the ones that were still located in the United States, there were 4 of them. There were 3 in North Dakota and 1 in Ohio. So I don't know if it's the same, The funny thing is, they don't pass out peanuts because, a lot of children have allergies, peanut allergies, and so they pass out popcorn. That's not the same. I understand, but it's not the same. Anyway, the locations here, I found an ad in the Chicago Tribune dated August 16th, 1977. I think this is when Elvis Presley died. And it was, so the ground was located in hometown at 87th and Cicero. There was one in Hoffman Estates at 1000 North Roosevelt Road. There was one in Norridge at near the Harlem Irving Plaza. There's a photo of that floating around, which has that location. There was one in Oak Brook Terrace at Roosevelt Road and East Summit, Morton Grove at Dempster and Waukegan, Olympia Fields at Route 30 and Western Avenue, Downers Grove, 500 West Ogden, Des Plaines 444 Des Plaines Avenue. There was one in Melrose Park at 8301 West North Avenue. I think that's near Polk Brothers. Also at Elmhurst at Route 83 in St. Charles, and then Wilmette and Plaza del Lago. I've been there. Not the ground round, but Plaza del Lago. And one in Lincolnwood at 6750 North Lincoln Avenue. And I think there was one in Madison, Illinois, near Lincoln Mall. I think there was. And I'm sure there were others. Later on, they opened other locations. But this is most of the ones that most people remembered. And they shared their memories of that. And there was one in Glenview. I posted a picture of that yesterday. I forgot the location, but it's right near Hackney's, which is still there. I went there once. I loved it there. The hamburgers are good. Okay. Right now, I'm going to read off a menu of that, and it'll be right just a moment, please, and I'll get it right now. Okay, here we go. The cover of the menu, it shows some old ads, from old newspapers, like all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And at the back of the menu, it says here, feel free to kid around with our waitresses and bartenders. And then they had happy hour Monday through Friday. And you buy peanuts by the bag. It says fresh roasted in the shell goobers. Take them home to the kids, or you can throw them on you can shell them and throw them on the ground. It also had rooms for parties, meetings, get-togethers, luncheons. You ask the manager. Also, they had Sunday Family Fun Day. They had free toys, free balloons, free games, free kiddie cocktails, free peanuts. Hey, you can't go wrong with that. Like I say, you can't be wrong with that, So okay, so the menu they had cocktails, they had champagne and wine for the adults. The beer at the time, they had Budweiser or Michelob, either a pitcher or a mug. The prices were: pitcher was $1.95, mug was 45 cents, Michelob was $2.50. That's Michelob, and the mug is 60. They also had a jukebox there; you can listen to music. Choice ground round, they had it was like a hamburger served with was on a fresh rye bun with crisp french fries and creamy coleslaw and a tangy Pringles spear. If you wanted cheddar cheese, that cost extra. They had a ground round junior. That was a smaller burger, for the kids. They had a steak sandwich. It was a ribeye steak broiled, Side dishes, they had onion rings, mushrooms, Idaho potatoes, French fries. Beverages, they had Coke, ginger ale, Sprite, root beer, milk, hot chocolate. They had fish, lake fillets, if you like fish. Jumbo shrimp, they had that. They had a jumbo frankfurter. It was a huge hot dog. And if you want cheddar cheese on it, I don't like cheese on a hot dog. But it was a huge hot dog served with French fries. That sounds good. Also, they had chunky chili. I said the jumbo shrimp already. Golden brown fried chicken. It's probably good served with French fries or coleslaw. Drinks by the pitcher, like Bloody Marys, whiskey sours, Harvey Wallbangers, or soft drinks if you like. They had the happy hour that was from 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. Any drink you want. They had special desserts. It's not listed, so that's a shame. But they had a children's special. It's a child-sized portion of a famous ground, hamburger on a rye bun, French fries, coleslaw, and covered with cheddar cheese. I wish I knew the dessert, but it's not listed. Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Let's see. So that's basically it with the ground round. So, like I said before, I regretted not going or being invited over there because it sounds like a wonderful experience for a child, and you would watch cartoons or like silent movies. I'm sure they showed the Three Stooges, maybe. Like the silent movies, they probably show Laurel and Hardy or Charlie Chase or Buster Keaton. Excuse me, maybe Charlie Chaplin, like that. And I don't know if they had a piano, you play a piano. Probably. I don't know. A lot of people will comment on that. Okay. So that's it for this show. I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I talked about my memories of actress and comedian Ruth Buzzi. I did a tribute episode of her. My memories of watching her on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In on television in the late 60s and early 70s in Chicago. Also, I read off a menu from the Ground Round restaurant. They had a few locations in the Chicagoland area. This podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are available: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Breaker, Overcast. If you have these apps on your phone, tap on them, tap follow. You'll receive a notification. You can listen to the latest episode. You can listen to previous episodes if you like. Also, it'll be posted on my blog, vanchicagoland.blog. They're all there. You can click on the link. It'll take you to Spotify. You can listen. You can subscribe. You can enter your email, and you get the latest notification. Also, be on my YouTube channel. And again, people always ask me, where do I find your podcast? Where do I find your podcast? I want to listen to your podcast. Go to YouTube, do a search engine, type in Van Chicagoland Stories or my name, Pete Costanis, and then when you find it, click subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. You can listen to the previous episodes. You will receive a notification for the latest episode. You can listen to the previous episodes if you like. They're all there. Help yourself. You can listen on your phone, your tablet, on your desktop. You can stream it, Spotify or YouTube. You can listen to that. Or in your car with CarPlay. Also, be sure to my social media accounts: Facebook, X, Reddit, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Okay. So I will do another podcast episode tomorrow, probably, if not Tuesday. And so this one will be ready this afternoon because I said earlier I'm going out for brunch. And he's waiting for me right now. Okay, so this is Pete Costanis, your host for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. Today is a chilly day. It's sunny, but it's in the 50s, so I'm going to wear my winter coat. And so just enjoy the rest of your weekend. So here's bye-bye for me, and here's a little traveling music with the one and only Chicago legend, Ray Rayner, saying bye, bye, bye. Of course, like I said, traveling music. So take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.